Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? So, I have a question for you. With all the talk that's been going on of different subjects, doesn't matter what it is, will this year, meaning 2024, be the year of controlled chaos that finally gives way to an apocalyptic dismantling of our constitutional republic, or what's left of it? All of the signs seem to point in this direction. For years now, we have been pushed to the brink of, how I see it, of like a national nervous breakdown. And this breakdown has been triggered, right? And it's been triggered by a circus of politics, MSM-fed mass hysteria, militarization and maliciousness, a sense of hopelessness and powerlessness in the face of growing corruption, and the economy too, that has much of the population struggling just to get by. Okay. And this has manifested itself in the polarized, manipulated mayhem, madness, tyranny that is left, and life in the American police state that we see today. So why are they engineering this societal madness? What's in it for them? Ask yourself that question. What is playing out before us is a chilling lesson in social engineering that keeps the populace fixated on circus politics, conveniently timed spectacles, distracted from focusing too closely on power grabs, and capable of standing united in defense of our freedoms. It's not conspiratorial. It's a power play. Think about it. They have the tools, they have the know-how to manufacture a crisis. Long before C-19 and the lockdowns and blah, 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 they were creating these and unleashing them on the unsuspected public. They have the tools and the know-how to manufacture unrest and upheaval. Since the days of J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI has been using agent provocateurs to infiltrate activist groups in order to expose, disrupt, misdirect, discredit, and otherwise neutralize them. They have the tools and the know-how to manufacture economic instability. As the national debt continues to rise up to $34 trillion, with little attempt by the federal agencies to curtail spending, it stands as the single most pressing threat to the economy. They have the tools and the know-how to manufacture environmental disasters. Deployed in 1947, Project Cirrus, CIRRUS, an early precursor to HAARP, okay, the weather altering agency. They attempted to disable a hurricane. If you ever lived through a hurricane, you'll know what I'm talking about here. They just attempted to disable a hurricane that, as it was moving out to sea, okay, it was going away from, possible disastrous effects on the people that live in that area. Instead of weakening the storm, they steered it into Georgia, resulting in millions of dollars in damaged properties. Why? They have the tools and the know-how to manufacture communication blackouts. Internet, cell phone, kill switches enable them to shut down communications at a moment's notice. It's a practice that has been used in the US. In 2005, cell phone service was disabled in 4 major New York tunnels. In 2009, those attending 44's inauguration had their cell phone signals blocked. In 2011, San Francisco commuters had their cell phone signals shut down, this time to thwart any possible protest over a police shooting of a homeless man. They have the tools and the know-how to manufacture attacks. I mean, indeed, the FBI has a pattern, a practice of entrapment that involves targeting vulnerable individuals, feeding them with propaganda, know-how, and weapons intended to turn them into extremists, and then arresting them as part of an elaborately orchestrated sting. They have the tools and the know-how to manufacture propaganda aimed at mind control and psychological warfare, or PSYOP. Not long ago, the Pentagon was compelled to order a sweeping review of clandestine US PSYOPs conducted through social media platforms. This investigation came in response to reports suggesting that the US military had been creating bogus persona with AI-generated profile pictures and fictitious media sites on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram in order to manipulate social media users. One of the many weapons of their vast arsenal, PSYOPs, can take many forms. Experiments, behavioral nudging, propaganda. In fact, the CIA spent nearly $20 million on its MK Ultra program, reportedly as a means of programming people to carry out certain acts, but just to a lesser degree. Include inducing anxieties, erasing memories before it was supposedly shut down. It's not shut down. Have you ever watched the show on Netflix called Stranger Things? That show is partially based on MK Ultra. We must never forget that they no longer exist to serve its people, protect their liberties, ensure their happiness. Rather, we, the people, are the unfortunate victims of these diabolical machinists of a make-works program on a epic scale, whose only purpose is to keep the powers that be permanently and profitably employed. This is how tyranny rises and freedoms fall. Almost every tyranny being perpetrated by them against the citizenry, purportedly to keep us safe and the nation secure, has come about as a result of some kind of a threat that was manufactured in some way or another by them. Think about it. In almost every instance, they have, in its typical Machiavellian fashion, sown the seeds of terror domestically, internationally, in order to expand its own totalitarian powers. Consider that this very same entity has taken every bit of technology sold to us as being in our best interest, whether it's a GPS device, surveillance cameras for our homes, whatever the case may be, and used it against us to track, trap, and control us. I hope that you are seeing the big picture here, okay? They are not protecting us from threats to our freedom. They are creating threats to our freedoms. We are in an escapist bubble, suffering. We are suffering from a crisis of the now, which keeps us distracted, deluded, amused, and insulated from reality. Yet, in addition to being distracted by our electronic devices and having our phones in our faces like this all the time, or a tablet, or kids with the gaming consoles, okay, and diverted by bread and circus entertainment spectacles. We are also being polarized by political theater, which aims to keep us divided and at war with each other. How many people do you know actually stop talking to you or someone that you know because they voted for 45? I know plenty. If you catch 100 fire ants, red fire ants, as well as 100 large black ants, and you put them all in a jar, at first, nothing's going to happen. They'll coexist. It's fine. It's normal. Nature. However, if you shake that jar and then you dump that jar onto the ground, the ants will just start to fight. And then eventually, they'll take each other out. The thing is that the red ants think that the black ants are the enemy and vice versa. When in reality, the real enemy is the person who shook the jar. That is exactly what's happening in society today. Left versus right, right versus left, liberal versus conservative, conservative versus liberal, black versus white, mask versus anti-mask, ticket versus anti-ticket. The real question, the absolute real question here, we need to be asking ourselves, who is shaking the damn jar and why? Okay? All right, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fear less.